Alright, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy JP. I'm back with another video. We're gonna be reacting to the infamous Cartel Dismemberment video. CJNG sent a brutal message to Los VIAGRAS. So it says, in Michoacan, cells of the Jalisco Cartel New Generation and Los VIAGRAS of the Sierra Santana brothers escalate the battle for control of the territories. The Tierra Caliente area is the center of the struggle. So we're gonna jump right in and make sure you like, comment, subscribe to your post notifications so you know anytime I post a video. Let me know in the comments if you'd like for me to react to more of these videos, and I got you. I'm gonna get them done. But yeah, let's check this out, man.
Welcome back to Disturbed Reality. Today we're going back to this channel's roots. We'll be talking about the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG for short, and more precisely in regards to a video that was released depicting the brutal murder of a rival cartel member. To be more precise, a Los VIAGRAS member. Now, this isn't the first time where CJNG and Los VIAGRAS have crossed paths on my channel. Of course, the El Siri video was the execution of a CJNG member by the Los VIAGRAS. I covered that video, and in fact even the Ghost Rider video has some crossover, because although Ghost Rider was part of a united cartel, the united cartel and Los VIAGRAS are quite closely aligned in their war with CJNG. In fact,
I'm not gonna lie, I did react to that Ghost Rider video. Man, what they did to him was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that was one of the worst ones I heard, to be honest.
Look at the cartel world in the last 4 or 5 years. When it comes to graphic content online, a lot of that content is coming from the CJNG and Los VIAGRAS. Those guys, at the moment, are really upping the ante in terms of pure brutality.
Then they got
especially
women.
In regards to CJNG, they are involved in numerous wars with numerous cartels, including the Los VIAGRAS, the Sinaloa Cartel, the United Cartels, La Familia Mexican, what's left of the Los Zetas, and also Cartel del Norte.
I'm not gonna lie, you can kind of see a difference too with the CJNG. They kind of look more like a military. The other dudes, Los VIAGRAS that they posted, they had guns, but it was like just like a white tee, you know. So yeah, the levels is probably different. Y'all let me know in the comments, like, is CJNG like more like of a bigger and more powerful than Los VIAGRAS?
Which I believe is a spin-off of the Los Zetas cartel. Essentially, CJNG now are basically doing what the Los Zetas did back in the day. It seems to be you're either with us or against us. There doesn't seem to be in between. There's no truces.
They be from everybody.
CJNG operates, and you know, as a result, in the last few years, it has definitely been successful. They've grown exponentially in the last few years. In fact, right now they're viewed as the second biggest cartel in Mexico, but arguably the most dangerous. Now, in terms of long term, is that sort of strategy going to make them come out on top? I'm not sure about that. You know, you can only fight so many battles, and eventually recruitment will become a lot harder. In fact, from what I've read in the last couple of years, is that the CJNG now are in so many battles and they're suffering so many casualties that they're now basically forcing new recruits, so kidnapping them and basically forcing them to fight in their wars. And in the long run, I'm not really convinced that, you know, that's a good strategy. But what do I know? Time will tell, I guess. As it stands right now though, El Mencho has been very successful in growing his CJNG cartel. In fact, at this point in time, he's so notorious that he's
5'8", 165 pounds, controlling everything. That's crazy.
Most wanted man in Mexico, and I believe that he's got a $10 million bounty on his head. That's one hell of an incentive to find this guy, but I would hazard a guess and say the powers that be don't really want to find this guy. You know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of hands in the pot, a lot of guys skimming off the top in law enforcement, in politics, in the army. Ultimately, it doesn't serve the best interest of a lot of people in power to capture a guy like El Mencho. And to be honest, even if they do capture him, it doesn't necessarily mean that Mexico will be better off. You know, when other cartels have had their leader captured, usually that creates a big internal struggle will commence, which means more violence, and sometimes these cartels at this point will then split and fragment and basically create new cartels, therefore creating more warring factions. I mean, look at the CJNG, for example. Look at where they came from. They came from the Millennium Cartel. In 2009, the leader of the Millennium Cartel was captured, and a power struggle, a power vacuum at the top of that cartel ensued, and basically the Millennium Cartel then split into two different factions, the La Resistencia, who would be later known as the United Cartels, and the Los Matas Zetas, who would later be known as the CJNG. But in short, when that split did happen, there was far more violence than there was when it was just the Millennium Cartel. So, you know, disbanding these cartels can actually result in more violence and more bloodshed.
The gold gun?
But yeah, apologies for the backstory. I know you guys really are here for the gory details, but I find the whole Mexican cartel, the Narcos world, extremely fascinating, and I only know like 1% of it. It's so in-depth, it's so complicated, but it's a really interesting topic that, in my opinion, hasn't really been touched on by mainstream media the way it should be. You know, it's one of the biggest stories in the world right now, arguably, especially when you look at the numbers in terms of murder and kidnap. The numbers are staggering in the last 10 years. It's wartime numbers, but for whatever reason, this topic doesn't really get covered by mainstream media, and yeah, I find it extremely fascinating.
I wonder why. Like, why do you think that mainstream media don't really cover it as much? Do you think there's a lot of parties involved and stuff behind the scenes? Is it that too much stuff is going on all at once, so it's like it kind of get overwhelming to just touch on all the crime that's going on due to the cartel? Like, why y'all think they don't really put it out there as much?
But at the same time, extremely sad. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. But before I do, I wanted to shout out a couple of you guys who actually helped me with this video in regards to a bit of additional information and also translations. So shout out to Tony and also Sarola Direz. In regards to this video, I'm actually going to begin with the end of the video. During the last seconds of the just over 3-minute video, it actually shows the victim before he was executed in his captured state, and you hear him talking, and basically what he's saying is, in essence, that the Los VIAGRAS are shit, and that he sees that now, and that the CJNG are the very best. Now, apart from showing the victim in his captured state, I can't really show too much of this video because it really is that graphic, to be honest, so I will show you what I can, but it might not be much. But anyway, the video starts with the victim lying on his back, completely clothless, and the victim has a chain on his neck. You know how you would see a dog being chained up? That's basically what he's got around his neck. So
I was about to say, they really got him, set up like a dog. And every time I watch these videos, the first thing that comes to my head is like, yo, I just wonder, I don't want to ever know, but it's like, knowing that you're gonna die, at the hands of somebody else has gotta be crazy. Just like, I wonder what goes through their head in that moment.
But he's not going anywhere. There are two CJNG perpetrators in the video. Both guys are wearing just regular cartel gear, faces are covered, they seem to be wearing some sort of combat vests, and one dude is armed with what looks like an AK, and the other guy is armed with what appears to be a hunting knife of some description. And before the dude with the knife starts cutting, he says the following: "I send my regards to all of you who keep acting out, especially you Gordo and Chava. Look at how I got your people. Look at them. Is this what you all want? You do know him, yes? You better step up your game." During the perpetrator's speech, you can hear the victim kind of begging and pleading for his life, but obviously that's to no avail. At this point, the dude with the knife starts cutting the victim's left leg off at the knee, and this wasn't a hack job like you see in many cartel videos. This dude was a straight professional, if I can use those words. He took the dude's leg off in mere seconds, and as the leg comes off, you can see a big spurt of blood, almost like you see in horror movies. He then hits the victim with his own leg. And watching the perpetrator do his work, it's obvious that he's done this before. There's no way in hell that this was the first time he's done this. He was way too efficient. It was almost like watching a butcher. Once the first leg has been removed, the perpetrator said the following: "I thought you were supposed to be tough. See what happens? Let's cut the other one." The victim replied, "No more, no more." The perpetrator then responded, "What do you mean no, you son of a bitch? This one's for you, Chava, just so you can see how I have your people. Look at how I have them." At this point, the perpetrator then cuts off the right leg, once again in super efficient fashion, and then the victim is then beaten with his own leg once again. After the legs have been removed, the perpetrator says, "Keep sending people like him to Nueva Italia so you can see what I do with them. Just so you can see how I catch your people off guard, motherfuckers." Now I'm presuming Nueva Italia is the restaurant where they caught this dude. Now this video took place in La Huacana in the municipality of Michoacan. I actually tried to find this restaurant in the area on Google, but I had no luck, I couldn't find it. But anyway, after the victim's legs have been cut off, they then moved to cutting off his arms.
Oh, man.
And by the way, he's fully conscious throughout all of this. The perpetrator begins by cutting the victim's left arm off at the shoulder, and as he's
that's the thing with like the cartel. It don't seem like they just, you know, if they're gonna take somebody out, it's not just, you know, shoot. It's like when they trying to get a, you know, set an example, it's really they gonna make sure like they die kind of slow. To cut, you know, one leg and then cut the other one. Oh man, it's crazy.
He tells the victim, "You have a lot of meat, don't you?" The left arm is then removed, and then they go to his right arm and do the same process. They cut it off at the shoulder, and again, even at this point, the victim is still conscious, and the video ends as they finish removing the right arm. And even at the end of the execution segment, after the victim's lower legs have been removed and his arms have been removed, it appears that the victim is still conscious even at this stage. So I'm assuming that they just pumped this guy full of drugs, basically just so he felt every second of it, and he's definitely felt every second of it. Honestly, it's a really horrible video, and the fact that these guys did this in less than like 3 minutes is absolutely insane. You know, these guys had obviously done this before. There was no way that this was their first day at the rodeo. They had to have done this before. And yeah, all in all, it's just a very brutal video. Obviously, when it comes to the cartel side of things and gore, many people reference Funky Town, the Guerrero flaying, sponsored by Adidas, even Ghost Rider. People kind of put those videos as the worst, but to me this video ranks right amongst them. I would say it's in the top 5 worst I've seen when it comes to cartel videos, and you know, I always try to discourage you guys from watching these videos. It's just not worth watching, especially if you're not experienced when it comes to this sort of content. Just don't do it. Let your curiosity get the better of you. Just listen to my description, maybe read about it on Reddit, online. But yeah, just leave it at that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, if you can enjoy this sort of content. I wasn't actually going to do a video on this one, but
yeah, I'm gonna end the video right here, man. It's just crazy, bro. Like I said before, you know, knowing that you're gonna die at that moment, they recording it, and then you dying, you know, yeah, you a part of something, but you basically dying, you know, because what they doing to you is what they really want to do to like your bosses and your heads, but you know, you got caught in it, which is crazy. And just like the whole thing of somebody, you know, putting it in their head to, you know, just killing somebody like that, just cutting their arms, cutting their legs, it's kind of crazy. I don't really recommend nobody to watch those type of videos because that could be like traumatizing, you seeing that. But if you're comfortable with it, then, you know, do your thing, because you know, everybody's different. But this is the end, y'all. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications so you know anytime I post a video. And yeah, to the next one. I'm off this. Oh!